This is Dave Beam. I just want to cover roles and the maintenance of roles just real quick. It's easier to show on a video than it is through screenshots and an email. I just sent an email responding to Sherry's question. I think it's helpful for a lot of people that it is much easier to look at roles and what roles have access to online than it is through a book or through paper. I gave the example of financials. Just financials is over 1,300 pages, a listing of roles by itself. And that's only what access people can do from a job or privilege perspective. It does not cover, whoops, I think I clicked two things. It does not cover data access. Those are now completely separate. But what access you have from a role perspective is kept within the security console. That's the key thing. And actually for a couple years, Oracle didn't even provide a listing of roles anymore. Once it moved to the security console, it said, sorry, no more listing of roles. You have to get that from the security console. But due to demand, it actually started printing them again, but I don't know, not that long ago, a year tops. So roles, these are all of the roles that are in the system right now that are just seated roles, thousands and thousands of them, as you can see. The way to kind of segregate the roles, well, here's where you assign the roles, the second tab here. If you just look at my ID, for example, I gave myself tons of roles, as most implementers do, just so they have access to just about any module as they set it up. So as you can see, I've got a lot of roles. But the way that you can kind of understand the roles from a modular or functional area is through this third icon here. So it chops them up between different functional areas. So if I go to finance, again, there are different things called duty roles and job roles. And the duties are more specific to what a person can do, and then the job role is a combination of the duties. So if I look at job roles within financials, it actually just limits them to 37. Those 37 roles have a lot of access. So I clicked on that, and just below came up all of the 37 job roles that I can look at in more detail. So for example, I'll focus on these: general accountant and general manager. There's no such thing as a general ledger manager or anything with the word general ledger. It's either general accountant or general manager. So if I look at general accounting manager, just click on that, it will take me to the detail of what that has. So here's all of the privileges that the general accounting manager has access to. So I can run financial statements, view subledger activity, view invoices, review journals, define subledger applications, so on and so forth. So you can scroll through all that, and it's a lot of duties, or a lot of functions. And then I can actually go down here and see the data security policies on where the security can be set. And again, this is maintained elsewhere, but this is where the security can be set. And then finally, this role hierarchy, which is really a version of what we looked at above, security policies, but it shows it in a hierarchy level. So here I've got the general accounting manager. As you can see, it's got within it, it's got the general accountant job. So it's got everything that a general accountant can do and more. And then finally, within the same page, this is a great way to easily see who has access to what. So when you're maintaining things, every now and then you can look at powerful roles and see who has access to it. So I can easily see that general accounting has these users, and the person who's maintaining it can say, should all of these people have access to general ledger manager or not? So that's one way of dealing with it, is just seeing a listing that you can drill into on roles. The other thing that's helpful is I saw General Accounting Manager and General Accountant, and so you may be wondering, well, what's the difference? Do I really have to look through all this and figure out the deltas? Well, no. There's a tool that it provides here. If I click on roles and say compare roles, that's exactly what I can do here. So first I'm going to say GN for General Accounting Manager. I'm going to say OK. And I say I want to compare that to GN. I'm going to compare that to the General Accountant. And I say compare. And just wait a second. Okay, so and here's the difference. So it shows you within the roles what one role has access to that the other one does not. So you can see exactly what differences there are. So let's get to some important ones. You can see that the accounting manager has a lot more abilities than the general accountant. For instance, manage accounting period status. So the general accounting manager can open and close periods. The general accountant cannot manage intercompany activity, organization set up anyway. General accounting manager can, general accountant cannot. I think you get the idea when you look at it. Eventually, you'll see where a lot of them agree that the general accounting manager has, or the general accountant has the same activity with reversing journals and posting journals as the general accounting manager. But again, just because they have that ability to do that doesn't mean that you have to allow that through data access, which again is a completely separate thing that must be maintained as well. So just want to show you that real quick, why it's easier to review and maintain roles online than it is through a book or through paper, because there's a lot of tools that you can use to compare. And you can see who has access to what. And then separately, we need to cover more. I think it's more critical to cover who has access from a data perspective, because that needs to be updated and maintained at all times. All right, thank you.